Hey everybody, I'm Robert.
And I'm Chris.
And we're the Film Flamers.
We're kicking off 22 with our regular Shooting the Flames episode where we discuss all the latest horror news, trailers, and obviously your comments and questions.
That's right. And before we get into all that, can we talk about what 2022 is doing our celebrities?
What the fuck?
I mean, they're dropping like flies.
Really? So, Anne Rice, obviously at the end of the year,
right before
2022, but she was the herald, as, you know, she would want to be, I'd assume.
Yes.
And then we got Betty White.
That's right.
Who I was reading today was apparently older than Martin Luther King and Anne Frank. Like, if they were still alive, they would be 93.
Oh my God. Well, she made it a long time.
And she was almost 100. So she could have babysat for Anne Frank and Martin Luther King.
She probably would have kept Anne Frank a lot safer than what she was. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, Betty White on New Year's Eve. Like, okay, talk about two different like heralds of things to come. Anne Rice and Betty White.
Yeah.
Not a good way to end the year.
And then Bob Saget.
I mean, I grew up watching Full House, you know what I mean?
Same.
And I mean, I had an appreciation for Bob Saget.
He was America's dad.
That's right. So that was sad. Sidney Poitier died. Poitier?
I always said Poitier.
Poitier.
Guess who's not coming for dinner? It's Meatloaf.
I already saw a meme today. I mean, he died today as of this recording, and I saw a meme that said there's nothing worse than cold meatloaf. And I was just like, oh, too soon.
Yeah, I saw the Fight Club memes coming out too, with the remember Robert Paulson or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, his name in that was Bitch Tits, but
Tit Dirt. It's a different Bob Saget joke. My mom loves meatloaf, so I know that she was a little upset this morning.
Oh, the singer, okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe the meal too, but the singer for sure. She's seen him in concert like 3 times.
Well, we finally know that this is one of the things he is willing to do for love. So, God damn it.
Too soon.
And then finally, Louis Anderson.
Which is sad too. I mean, like, he sort of had a resurgence in his career a couple years ago with Baskets, right? So,
I don't remember.
And I don't know. I mean, it just seems like all these like high profile, but older celebrities are kind of like dying left and right. Yeah. And I guess it's not surprising that happens every year, but it seems like the frequency is
this
way
is
too
all
high.
bunched together, and I have to say, like, I wonder if it's a little Omicron related, but
I mean, they said Betty White had nothing to do with COVID.
They say that.
So,
and they said Bob Saget has nothing to do with drugs or alcohol.
That's right.
They say that.
And Meatloaf had nothing to do with what he would or would have not done for love, but who knows, I guess. Either way, I mean, like, it's the 21st. And
we almost met him, too. But then he broke his leg. I wonder if that was the beginning of the end.
Oh, my God. What, a couple years ago at that horror convention, right, where I was told to get his autograph, and I was like, oh, I got time. He'll be here all weekend. And that first night he fell and broke his leg. He clumsy.
Damn it.
I know. I mean, it's sad, especially those first two. I know that Anne Rice meant a lot to you, and Betty White certainly meant a lot to me and a huge chunk of America,
Bob Saget.
Yeah, so sad. I mean, 2022, stop it. We've had enough now. Yeah. Just let us have the rest of the year without having to mourn celebrities.
When I exclaimed Bob Saget after Betty White died, I wasn't trying to be prophetic.
Well, look what you did. So, yeah, obviously, we want no more of this.
No.
Well, you want to dive into Shooting the Flames?
Sure, why not?
All right. Well, we would start with reviews.
Though we have had a dearth.
We've had a dearth of reviews as of late.
But you know what? You can be the first person to review us in 2022.
That's right.
If you haven't reviewed us before.
So just go over to Apple Podcasts or iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, tell us why you like us, and we will read that review on Shooting the Flames. I also suppose we would read a bad review, but we'd be more excited for a good one.
That's true. And we'd also read reviews from other places, but this is the way you can most help us.
That's right. It really helps people find our podcast.
Well, let's get into some comments.
Okay.
First up, we've got a voicemail from Kimberly.
All right, let me hear it.
Hey guys, it's Kimberly. I don't know how I didn't know until now that you have an Instagram, but I just found it, and I'm so happy to see your faces now, finally. And Robert, you have the most beautiful green eyes I have ever seen in my life. And Chris, I am a sucker for a dark-haired man with a beard, but alas, you sat for the other team. Oh well, a girl can dream. Bye.
Do you have green eyes?
Okay, my eyes are kind of hazel, so they switch between like green and brown and kind of bluish.
Oh, is it like a mood ring?
Yeah, depending on my mood, I guess. But I get green most often. But thank you. I really, really appreciate compliments of my visage. So.
Yeah, visage.
But yeah, we do bat for another team. Actually, I catch for another team more often.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's okay.
A little bit of an overshare.
Why not? This is what we have podcasts for, right?
Yeah. Okay.
We followed you back on Instagram, Kimberly. So we're looking forward to seeing pictures of yourself and your dog and all the things that you want to share. So guys, we mention our socials at the end of every episode, but we do have an Instagram account. So go over there and follow us on that.
From our deep dive into Black Swan, George from Patreon said, "What a great Black Swan episode. It was really good. The only downfall is I could listen to another hour of it."
Which is good, because I feel like we finished recording Black Swan and we were like, did we talk too much? Did we ramble? And I mean, it's good that someone says no.
No,
right?
We've gotten some good feedback from that episode and the next one, Annihilation, too.
Good. But also from Black Swan, Dr. Joe, who's also a patron, said, "Gonna have to go back and rewatch this one. I really liked it the first time I watched it." So reach out and let us know what you thought about that rewatch, Dr. Joe.
Yeah, if you haven't seen either Black Swan or Annihilation, go watch them.
Yes, because they're both excellent movies.
From our deep dive into Gremlins 2, Deb from Instagram said, "Love the artwork we used for the episode. Gremlins 2 is slowly becoming my favorite movie of all time. I still prefer the original because, Christmas. But the sequel is brilliant. I feel like the new Scream is like Gremlins 2. Lol."
I mean, I can see that just because like the new Scream is kind of
Muppety
and crazy. So, I mean, there's some parts that are definitely like overly comedic. So I get it. From our Flamers flashback episode on The Gate, Kimberly, obviously over on Patreon, said, "I've never seen The Gate. Now that I know something bad happens to a dog, I most likely never will," which is a shame because it looks ridiculous and awesome.
And I think bad things keep happening to the dog too, or with the dog.
That's right. It's not just one moment, it's several. So you're probably good if that bothers you. But I think we will agree it is ridiculous and awesome.
But it's also something we don't strongly recommend people go back and watch.
No, so. I mean, you're safe.
From our deep dive into Annihilation, at Macabre Media Podcast said, "Book's better."
Which is so funny because in that conversation, didn't you say your sister enjoyed the movie more than the book?
Yeah, she actually watched the movie first, which might have something to do with that, right? Expectation management. Yeah. And then she read the book and she didn't like it as much.
So, I mean, I still want to go back and read the book. Maybe not just because of that comment. When anyone says that the movie's better, I'm super interested at how bad that book could possibly be.
Yeah.
So we do have a slew of questions this month. And the first one comes from Brandon. And he says, "What horror movie of February 2022 are you most excited for? And which one looks like hot garbage?"
Moonfall could go either way.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd rather it go either way, honestly, rather than just have another 3-star movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would too.
So,
I will say that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of sequel, I guess, and they're retconning, all the other sequels for this, could go either way as well, know? But kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be hot garbage though. The movie that I would have said probably looks the most like hot garbage has been moved to June, and that's The Black Phone. So,
okay. Yeah. I didn't know what was coming out in February. I had to go and search, and I came up with this list, which of course is Moonfall, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which we just talked about, Ghost of the Ozarks, Last Survivors, The Long Night, Shut In, Kimi, Cosmic Dawn, Here Before, A Banquet, and The Devil's Light. Those probably are all cost streaming and theater, and probably mostly streaming. But I don't know. I haven't even seen trailers for most of those, so I'm not sure. I'd have to say between Moonfall and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I guess, by default.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think they're the biggest high-profile movies that are coming out in February. Right?
And I was wondering if you actually meant 2022. And I made another list that includes Morbius and of course The Black Phone that you said, Salem's Lot, Halloween Ends, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, Dark Harvest. We talk a lot about this in our year-end review that came out just last week. So check out what our expectations are of these. But I think for both of us, it's going to be closer to Nope.
Oh yeah, I think Nope is probably the movie I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
If not, then Prey over on Hulu. So,
Okay.
But yeah, like you said, we have our year-end review. We talk at length about movies that we're excited for in 2022. So check that out.
At Friday the 13th said, what's one movie that you wish you could see again for the first time?
Oh my God. I don't know. I kind of love that question. And does it have to be a horror movie?
Any number of them, maybe some of the ones that are recontextualized, like the second time you watch them, but I don't know. I kind of enjoy them more being on the, on the inside. It's that one movie that I showed you with Leonardo DiCaprio and Shutter Island.
Oh yeah, that was a really good movie.
This completely recontextualizes the second time you see it. You can never watch it again for the first time. Right.
From a horror movie standpoint, I feel like one of the movies that has scared me the most throughout my life and that I've shown multiple people is The Strangers. And I had a very singular experience watching that for the first time, and you can never get that back. And so I feel like I would like to enjoy that movie for the first time and be just as scared as I was for the first time watching that movie.
Yeah, Terrified is that way too.
Yes. But these movies are kind of scary every time I watch them. But
they are, but like the first time is special.
Yes, that's right. Just terrifying.
Like I can never watch The Vigil again. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be scary again.
No, it's not.
So
they gave us another question, and it said, "Is there any movie that you have reviewed that you wish you could redo?"
No, it's all perfect.
Yeah, all of our reviews are fine.
I don't know. Like, I feel like there's some things that have come out about some movies that I wished, oh man, we should have put that in the deep dive, or maybe we should update, or maybe we should go back and like do little, update recordings, kind of like edit ourselves and just update our deep dives as we go through. And maybe we should start doing that. But there's not really one total that I think was bad and that we should redo. I never thought that.
No. And
I thought some could be better or formatted better or something from our discussion, but never have I thought, well, we should completely re-record this,
And I've been trying to think of a movie that we've either done a hot take on or a deep dive on where my opinion has changed significantly, and I just can't think of anything. I mean, there hasn't been a movie that I've disliked in the last several years that I've rewatched and said, okay, I like this movie. Now, pre-podcast, yeah, like we haven't done an episode or a deep dive on As Above, So Below, right? But
Under the Paris.
So like the first time that we watched that movie, neither one of us really cared for it. I went back and rewatched it several years later, and I now have a newfound appreciation. So, I mean, I think that's the most recent movie that's happened to me with, but
outside of our hot takes, like deep dives, some of us watch these like multiple times. And so like, there's not really much chance for our opinions to change before we record.
It's true.
Now on the opposite end of the spectrum, there are some things that I'd love to revisit. Like I love talking about Poltergeist. I love talking about Interview with the Vampire. I love talking about a lot of these films. Knowing that we've already done them is kind of sad in a way because we can't, we could, but I mean, we can't really go back and just like rehash Aliens or Poltergeist or, Sunshine even, some of our more popular episodes for interesting reasons. I'm not sure.
I mean, you're right. I mean, we can't go back and talk about Poltergeist again because we did it already at length. You know what I mean? But you're right. I mean, like you get to a point in your podcast where you're like, oh, we've already talked about that one, even though it's one of your favorites, and you have to just sort of move on. So, I mean, but yeah, I would talk about Poltergeist any day.
I don't know. I might, with our new format, the way we talk about things and having seen things, like we've kind of cultivated a new eye at looking at horror movies in a kind of a different language of talking about them and kind of a shorthand as well with each other. We could go back to some of our beginning ones like Copycat and Suspiria and see how those episodes might turn out now. It'd be interesting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're good. And plus, it's been many years. So, I mean, like we might have a difference of opinion, about our feelings about the movie anyway.
I don't know. George via Patreon said, catching up on bonus episodes. Now that I'm 100% caught up on all of your shows, I was wondering since this episode if you watched Aronofsky's Mother. I saw it in theaters on opening day without knowing anything and purposefully not watching any trailers. Being a fan of his work, I was not only worried about what this movie could be, it paid off. I was knocked off my chair. I left the theater in awe and maybe even shaking a little bit. I can't say if I ever enjoyed a panic attack, but the one in this movie gave me in the last like 20 to 30 minutes was wild. It's one, not unlike Requiem for a Dream or even Black Swan, that has stuck for better or worse in my head. Anyway, would love to know what you thought of it. I left this movie telling everyone how great it was, then started reading reviews, hearing what others thought, and I was really shocked how much it was shat on. You could say that for any Aronofsky film, especially Noah, right? Because that was just automatically shot on without people watching it, just because it had to do with the Bible, right? Which I think it's a underrated high fantasy, Bible-based movie, but I could say that for Requiem for a Dream. It lives in my head and it's not living rent-free. I can tell you that.
No, it definitely has to pay something.
But I have not seen Mother and I want to.
I liked Mother. I thought it was good. I mean, I also feel it was unfairly shot on, but I really feel like, just like any other Aronofsky movie, it's not for everyone. You know?
It's I'd love to see it. I already know the message. I know what it's about.
Yeah.
I've read the synopsis and everything else.
I feel like, unfortunately, it starred one of the most popular actresses of the time, and maybe still, like people really love Jennifer Lawrence. And they went to see a movie that it probably wasn't meant for them for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah. God, the whole Mockingjay crowd went to go see Mother and were shocked out of their pants.
Yeah. So that's why it was shot on.
Well, we also know that why she was cast. So
she was fucking
the director.
I think Mother's a really good movie. I think that people should go watch it. But again, like a lot of his other movies, it's kind of a one watch for me, I'm fairly certain that eventually on the Film Flamers we will be talking about Mother.
Yeah.
So it will happen. We had one last question from @ItzaMario. And he says, February is my birthday month, and I wondered if there was a film that you'd like to watch on your birthday or your favorite birthday-related film.
A birthday-related film? God, I can't even think of one off the top of my head.
To Jillian on her 37th birthday? I haven't seen that movie. I just never heard of the title.
Gillian Anderson?
It's Michelle Pfeiffer, I think.
Damn it.
I don't know. I mean, there's not a movie I specifically like to watch on my birthday. No.
Lord of the Rings. It's about a birthday.
Is it?
Yeah. His 111th. Wait, it's 11th. What is it? Let's say 11th. It's his 11st birthday.
I really enjoy a horror movie from the early 80s called Happy Birthday to Me. And it's incredibly violent, like one of those straight to video kind of slasher movies.
Okay.
But no, there's not a movie that I particularly like to watch on my birthday. If there's one that you watch on your birthday every year, I'm super interested to know what it is and why. So
yeah,
tell us, please.
Maybe it'll be The Green Knight. It's also a birthday movie. Jesus is born.
Now I have to pick one. I feel like God,
a birthday movie,
a movie I'm gonna watch on my birthday. It doesn't have to be about birthdays. It's just one that maybe just reminds me of my birth or my life.
Alien.
Still Magnolias. I don't know. Alien.
Your birth would be Alien, 1979.
That's right, because my mom saw that when she was pregnant with me, and she wanted me out of her body after watching that movie. ItzaMario, it's been selected. Every year in September, I shall be watching Alien. 1979. God, I'm old. Thanks for that question.
Oh my God, Robert, we have a new patron.
What?
We do.
Who is it?
Walstrich.
Walstrich. Welcome to the family. He also joined at the Film Flamer tier, so we have to add him to the others that we always shout out in Shooting the Flames, and they are
Ben,
Dr. Joe,
Lisa,
Kimberly,
Nikki,
Penelope,
and Walstrich.
But especially
Walstrich. Thank you very, very much for joining the family. We're so glad to have you. We're about to launch another poll for Hellraiser, and you'll be able to take part in that and all of the bonus content we have over there on Patreon.
That's right. Visit patreon.com/shootingtheflames to join the family and get all that content.
Tell your wives, tell your kids, tell your husbands.
Hide your husbands. From my green eyes.
Horror news.
So first up, we have a little news item, and it says, A Quiet Place. Pig filmmaker. They made the movie Pig, but when you say it.
Pig filmmaker. Michael Sarnowski.
Michael Sarnowski is directing a spin-off that'll expand upon the franchise's universe of A Quiet Place, obviously.
Right, and Deadline notes, not much more is known about this project other than it's not being a threequel, but rather a spin-off based on an idea from John Krasinski himself.
And I'm glad that he is still a part of the process, right? So he's coming up with the story and letting someone else tell it. I think that's good. If there's going to be a threequel, I feel like he needs to direct it. Don't give it to somebody else.
Yeah, and it's got to continue that story with, because right now it's a kind of a cliffhanger. at the
Yes.
end. Yeah.
I want to know what happens to that family, right? And clearly he's directing his wife. They already have a rapport. So, I mean, continue to make the movies.
Well, I hope they had a rapport before they made the movie.
Oh, it helped. I mean, I really, really enjoyed both Quiet Place movies. If they want to expand on that universe, I'm totally here for it. So bring it on. And I hear that Pig is really good.
Yeah, it's about a truffle pig.
Right.
Whatever.
Nicolas Cage in one of his best performances.
Yeah, sure. If that's possible, we'll see.
I mean, we can go see his grave in New Orleans when we get there. It's already built.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a little pyramid.
That. Oh my God.
Yeah. We'll leave him some flowers.
Put it on the list. Next up, Rian Johnson's Knives Out 2 is probably coming to theaters in late 2022. I think we mentioned this last week in our review episode of things we were kind of looking forward to, but we'll see. What's interesting to me is like I wasn't as big of a fan of it as I think most people were.
I agreed.
I liked it.
Yeah.
But Daniel Craig is back as Benoit Blanc or whatever the fuck his name was in that movie. And a new ensemble cast, so a new mystery with a new family, I'm guessing, including Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Jessica Henwick, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Janelle Monáe, Madeline Klein, and Kate Hudson.
What the fuck with this cast?
I know.
I will watch this movie just for that.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I think that's the reason why I wanted to see Knives Out in the first place, because that cast was pretty fucking stellar.
Well, at this point, anything with Catherine Hahn. She was great in WandaVision.
Yeah, I still need
She's
to watch
getting her own
WandaVision.
spinoff now on Disney Plus.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Because that character was so
It's
popular
greenlit.
and
They're
she
in
was so
production
good in
now.
it. Yeah, I'm totally down for Knives Out too. Again, I mean, like you said, I liked it. I thought it was fine. You know, I didn't feel like there was much of a mystery to the mystery movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the acting was good. And I mean,
It needed a smidge more snark. It needed a smidge more Ready or Not in it.
agreed. You know what? Maybe Ryan just move over and let
Rian Johnson make another Scream movie, and those brothers will come back and do the Knives Out sequel.
That's right. Just swapsies. Come on. But keep the cast. Damn it.
Did you say swapsies?
I did. I said swapsies. If you can say it. Onesie, I can say swapsie.
Well, one's a noun, and the other's I don't know what the fuck it is.
It's a verb. It's an adverb. I don't know. What I do know is that Apple TV is continuing Godzilla's adventures in a MonsterVerse show.
Yeah, so following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco and the shocking new reality that monsters are real, the Untitled series explores one family's journey to uncover its buried secrets and a legacy linking them to the secret organization known as Monarch.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested how they're going to do this. It's going to have a bunch of talking heads and then like a massive special effects extravaganza because those movies are expensive to make.
Yeah. And they look like it.
Destroying cities is just as expensive in special effects as it is doing in real life.
So, really?
I don't know.
I mean, that was totally believable. So, I mean, maybe we should play
Might as well just do it for real.
Yeah, I mean, so I really enjoyed Kong Skull Island. You know, I liked.
I did like Kong Skull Island more than I did Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yes, that is correct. That is a true statement. I did like Godzilla vs. Kong, and I did sort of like, you know, King of the Monsters or whatever with all the other monsters being born. I just wish they had felt, you know, I wish they had paid more attention to the monsters, and I hope that this show would do the same thing.
I wish they'd have an active like group of actors that come back, not just like Stranger Things girl or Vera Farmiga or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of wanted some of the cast from Kong Skull Island. Brie Larson remains as underrated in her acting career as she is exasperating in real life.
I mean, can we just be honest, though? When we're watching movies about Godzilla or King Kong or any of these fucking monsters, I don't give a shit about the people. Like, I don't care what they're trying to do, like linking a family legacy and uncovering buried secrets. I just want to see monsters destroying
Exactly.
things.
Like, what the fuck is the problem here?
I mean, stop it.
God, I want more of those tree spiders. That scared the shit out of me.
I mean,
And Kong Skull Island.
I want to watch that movie again, you know? So
I've only seen it once.
Apple TV, you need to sell your show better and say, we're cutting all the people out of it and we're just going to have monsters destroying things and fighting each other, and I'll sign up for Apple TV. There you go. Done.
Next up, Joshua Jackson joins Lizzie Kaplan in a Fatal Attraction TV series for Paramount Plus.
Do you remember back when we did our deep dive on Fatal Attraction and we talked about there was like a failed TV show? So now they're doing it. They're doing it for real now with Joshua Jackson.
It won't be ignored.
It shan't be ignored, Chris. The article goes on to say that the series explores the timeless themes of marriage and infidelity through the lens of modern attitudes towards strong women, personality disorders, and coercive control.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more on the side of the woman in this case, which would be interesting to see.
Which is good.
At the same time, it could have more of an equal kind of, more similar to maybe, hopefully, The War of the Roses or something.
Yeah.
Got another movie I need to see.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time either. I'm going to start making a list. Another list.
Well, we've been talking about Kathleen Turner all day. I want to see Undercover Blues and he's Romancing the Stone.
V.I. Warshawski. Come on. She's great. Put her in this show. Joshua Jackson. So, like, straight out of Dawson's Creek. Is that what
Kathleen Turner now in the show.
I don't know. I mean, I love Fatal Attraction so much. I'll watch this, I'm sure. But I kind of have not high hopes. Can we just face facts that when people watch the Fatal Attraction TV show, they don't care about the people in it. They just want to see monsters destroying cities and fighting each other. Stop making these shows.
Why don't we combine the Monsterverse show with the Fatal Attraction show?
Oh my God, yes, please.
So we'll have two things to watch.
I mean, that's what I want to see. I do want to see some family drama, but I want to see them fighting and then simultaneously worrying about whether or not their house is going to be destroyed by King Kong.
Which is more vicious and destructive, Kathleen Turner or Godzilla? Find out next episode.
Like, I want to talk about your infidelity, but we have to go because Godzilla's really close. I mean, like, that's what we want.
What's that you have boiling on the pot? Is that Mothra?
Our queen? No. Mothra. We don't have to kill Glenn Close. Mechagodzilla will.
I don't know why we just recast that as Kathleen Turner, but
because we had Kathleen Turner on the brain.
Hey.
Oh my God, she did such a good job as Chandler's dad on Friends. I mean, like,
don't make fun of my voice.
I hope she's not listening.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawing that word.
I want to watch that movie too.
Coming soon.
So we have a whole slew of trailers for you.
Four of them. Four slew.
I mean, in some circles, I guess.
I guess we could have gone back and done our homework with some of those other things that are coming out in 2022, but I didn't see trailer links, so I just ignored it and just went with the ones we had in the document.
That's right. Well, there haven't been a whole lot of trailers for some new movies, but we do have a couple, and a lot of them are coming out fairly quickly. One of them is already out now on Netflix, and that's Archive 81.
Staying ahead of the game as usual.
So
you've already watched this, right?
Yeah, I did. The weekend it came out, I guess. Because I had just finished watching Brand New Cherry Flavor, which you recommended, and Netflix thought that I would also enjoy this show. So it's kind of about a man whose job is to like restore destroyed tapes, like videotapes.
Yes.
And he is trying to complete and restore this archive of a woman who is creating this sort of like student documentary about people who live in an apartment building.
But, I mean, he's doing this because this whole building burnt down, right?
Yes, it's been burnt down, and they're trying to get to the bottom of why.
Okay.
So the show has got a little bit of Rosemary's Baby in it. It's got a little bit of
Star Trek.
Yeah, a little bit of science fiction thrown in there, a little paranormal activity going on. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
Okay. Well, you rated the first 4 episodes very well, and then the second 4 episodes you kind of trashed. But I don't know. We'll see. Some people are more into sci-fi than you.
It's true. You know what I mean? And I mean, like, the trailer is impressive looking, and it has a good premise.
It does.
Right? So I will say that, I mean, if you've seen the trailer and you feel like it is something that you would enjoy, definitely go and watch it.
Next up, we have a direct-to-streaming release on Shudder in February called Hellbender. And this looks like a mom and daughter witch combo, artsy-fartsy,
Folk horror.
dark drama, folklore horror movie that I can't really parse a story out of.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on in this trailer, except a girl eats a worm, or drinks one, I guess, in some sort of shot game. And
I think from what I can piece together, the mom has brought the witch into the fold, or she kind of brought herself, her daughter, kind of into the fold, or she got into it a little too early. Just like some doors you can't, once you've opened, they're hard to close. And then she's like, I'm not afraid of you later in the trailer. And her daughter's like, you will be, and turns into a monster or something. So I don't know. This really does look a little highfalutin for itself, for the story it's trying to tell, but time will only tell.
So I've read some reviews on this already of people who've seen it either online or on Letterboxd, and people have really good things to say about it.
Oh.
They're saying it's going to be like don't miss it because it's going to end up being one of your favorite horror movies of 2022, you know? And I just don't see that based on the trailer. The trailer kind of looks ridiculous.
So is it out now?
It'll be out mid-February.
Okay.
On Shudder.
All right. So who are these people who have seen it?
Journalists.
Oh. I didn't realize journalists were watching Shudder exclusives.
Well, horror journalists.
Why? I'm sure.
The next trailer we watched is for a movie called Here Before. It's also coming out in February on VOD. And this stars Andrea Riseborough, who you will know from Possessor and that horrible Grudge movie that we can't talk about anymore.
Oh, yeah. No.
And in this trailer, she is a woman who's suffering the loss of her daughter many years before and meets another young child who would have been about the same age of her daughter present day and believes that perhaps her daughter was reincarnated into this one.
Yeah, I didn't know what the timeline is, like based on that trailer, whether her daughter would have been that same age or whether that was the same age her daughter was when she died.
Yeah, I really can't tell either.
So if it's like a reincarnation thing or a possession thing, we don't know. Or if the mother is just on crack.
I think all those things could be possible. You'd have to watch the movie.
It's a VOD, so we know she's not on crack.
Probably. Why?
I don't know.
Although
it's never the crack. It's
do
always real.
I do want to watch this movie. It seems like something that I would enjoy.
Except for St. Maud.
It's a dark family drama. St. Maud's a good movie. And with like some possible supernatural things. Really, I just like to watch people go crazy in front of my face.
Well, speaking of which, there's X coming to theaters in March. This is like a horrible, fucked up horror movie.
You and I think, disagree on this particular trailer.
No, I mean, I was literally quoting the policeman in the trailer.
I really, really want to fucking watch this movie so bad. It has everything I like in it. Murder, porn. I guess just those two things. And it has a good cast.
It's like a horror movie within a horror movie, right? Because they're trying to shoot a horror movie at this location, but there's real horror things going on while they're shooting it.
Well, they're shooting a porno.
Oh, I thought they were shooting like a horror movie.
No, they're trying to secretly make a porno at this guy's house.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why it's called X.
Right. I think so.
Okay.
I mean, the movie they're making is called like The Farmer's Daughter or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, Ty West makes good movies, in my opinion.
What else has he done?
He did House of the Devil a couple of years ago, which was really good. He had a segment in VHS, which was excellent. Like he's just a good movie, a good filmmaker. Have you seen House of the Devil? It has like a retro
Rob
vibe
Zombie
to it.
Movie. No, that's the House of a Thousand Corpses.
Right. This one's good.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God! You know what
Somewhere
we did?
Moonfall Sherry is.
Moonfall Sherry. What are we even doing with this Shooting the Flames episode? This one's just for us.
Wait, what's her name? Sherry Moon, right?
Sherry Moon.
Okay,
Sherry Moon zombie.
Moonfall Sherry.
Moonfall Sherry is like a brand of liquor. I don't know. You know what we didn't talk about when we were talking about 2022 is Rob Zombie's fucking monster movies coming out this year.
God.
Too. I know. I just want to die.
Starring Kathleen Turner
As Herman.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the things we've been watching.
That's right. It's been a long time since we've had a Flamer's Favorites section on Shooting the Flames.
That's right. Because like we've just got off talking about all of these horror movies from 2021, but we have so many things to talk about from things that weren't necessarily 2021.
That's
and
right.
I think the first thing that we want to talk about, at least briefly, would be Scream.
That's right. So, it's the first big horror movie this year. People were looking forward to this and talking about it online for so long. There was such an anticipation for this movie to come out, and then we got to see it.
And that was it. It was certainly a movie.
I mean, I really enjoyed the shit out of Scream.
I had really high expectations with those guys that did
Ready or Not.
And to see this Scream and to literally see like they already did the meta on meta commentary on Scream 2, I felt. And then everything has been a recycle since then for the most part. I did like that they did something different with Scream 4.
Okay.
A little bit. Just a little bit, right? They just tried to take it a little bit new places. But this one is just like meta on meta commentary, as commentary on the horror genre itself, which was fun. But it literally did nothing new, and it was kind of the point. It's like, I don't care if you hang a lantern on something, like we're literally doing nothing new, but that's not enough reason to not do anything new. You had the reins of this thing. You are competent storytellers and directors. Do something fucking new.
I don't know that we necessarily need anything new. with
God
Scream,
damn it.
though. I mean, I think it's okay.
It's so dependent. Its story is so dependent on the first one having happened. You know what I mean? Like it should have had its own legs, and it has absolutely no legs without the first movie.
I feel the thing that sets this one apart is the fictional movie within a movie, right? I feel like they talk about that a lot more in this one than they do in any of the other sequels, right? The fact that Stab exists in that world.
Yeah, they did that with the first and second. They've been mentioned. Obviously, the first scene in Scream 2 opens with the Stab opening.
And they have Scream 3 is when they're making a Stab movie. But this one, there's like gobbledygillions of sequels of Stab, right? Yeah. And then another point of this like Scream movie is like fanboy expectations or fangirl expectations, right?
Yeah.
And like retribution for, poorly made sequels.
They
and
wrote
things like
in
that.
criticism for their critics, and I just like, sure, I get it, but you have to be really good to do that. You have to do something new to do that, to deserve that, and it didn't for me.
I will say that I
still liked it. I still liked it quite a bit. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I certainly wasn't scared at all.
No. It wasn't scary, but it
just sucks.
It was funny. I mean, I think I jumped at a couple spots too. I think the thing that really sold this movie for me was the cast. I really liked the characters. I liked the actors. I mean, they found a whole bunch of like hot young people, so what's not to like? But I mean, there were some sad moments in it too. I feel like the movie really gave both the new cast members and the old cast members some room to shine a little bit. But I mean, the scariest thing really was Courtney Cox's face.
The only thing that would make this one stick for me more is if they stuck with this new cast moving forward.
And I hope they do, honestly. If they make another one, because so many people survived. Oh, shit. Spoiler alert. Well, I mean, you've seen it. Come on.
Yeah. I don't know which new cast member survives. It doesn't matter.
That's true. A handful, though. So, I mean, like, they have room to grow with this cast. So do it.
Yeah.
So, or just not make any more Scream movies. Either way is fine.
So that's enough about Scream.
Yeah.
I also recently watched The Death of Stalin.
What is that?
It's about the death of Stalin. It's a dramedy, but it basically has everything that happens in it happened literally. Like, it is so funny through that lens, but it also does it kind of reverently. So that you're not like making fun of what happened. You're still kind of dealing with like victims and things like that. Kind of respectfully, but it's dealing with all of these men kind of who surrounded Stalin, this grab for power, like fucking Steve Buscemi. It's like,
oh my God.
And it's just really well cast, really, really well done. Just a huge amount of dialogue in this movie. There's not much visual storytelling going on, but it's just from the outset, it's just dry, dark humor, and it's just hilarious. And I love historical fiction and historical drama anyway. This is less fiction, but it's still just really, really well done.
Well, I like dry, dark humor, and I like movies that are overly wordy.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you would like this.
Probably. I've never even heard of it until I saw you review it on Letterboxd.
I just watched hundreds of horror movies, and I was just kind of running a few islands here and there. And so, that was one of them.
Okay. Well, what did you rate it?
I think I rated it a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll add it to my list.
Maybe even 4.5. I'm not sure.
One of the movies that I watched that technically was released in 2021, but made in the 70s, right? So I didn't want to put it on any of my like top 10s or anything like that, was The Amusement Park.
Okay.
And this is a movie that George Romero had made. It's sort of like a PSA about the elderly that, like the Methodist Church paid him to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, go make this, movie for people to watch so they'll feel bad about like the plight of the elderly. And of course, when you hired George A. Romero to make a movie, it's not going to be pleasant to watch, but it was super interesting and weird. And it just felt like a lost George Romero movie. And I feel a lot of things about that man. So I was happy to see this movie and I really liked it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but if you're a fan of his, you should go watch it for sure. It's on Shudder.
It's like Reefer Madness, but with old people.
Essentially. Yeah. I mean, like there's some really bizarre things happening in it, but it's interesting and it made me think. So he did his job.
Well, I watched an older than 2021 at least, movie called Under the Shadow. I think it was like 2018, 2019. No, 2016, right? And I believe it's takes place in Iran.
Uh-huh.
And it is super spooky and just really, really engrossing and interesting. I love the way they did like the djinn or the ghost in this with like the clothing and stuff. It's really, really good. It's foreign language, obviously. But if anyone wants like a really taut, small cast, small location, interesting, really self-contained thriller, ghost story, like this is good.
Now, if y'all recall from January Shooting the Flames, one of our patrons and listeners, Nicole, recommended this movie for us to watch.
That's right. It went on my watch list, right? And so Under the Shadow.
Mm-hmm. And so it's still on my watch list. I was trying to like catch all the 2021 horror movies I could. So I didn't quite get to that one yet, but it is on my list, Nicole, for sure. So, because I know Chris has already spoken pretty highly of it and you did. So sign me up. Aside from that, I watched a couple movies that are not horror, but could be considered horror adjacent, depending how you look at things. And one of those movies is Spencer, starring, oh my God, why can't I think of her name?
Twilight Bitch.
Yeah, starring Kristen Stewart as Princess Di, right? And this movie...
Wait, what was her name?
I know.
Sorry.
Princess Di. Diana. It sort of takes place over Christmas weekend, and you sort of like see Princess Diana like slowly going crazy, living with the royal family, with all the pressure of being a celebrity, right? And this movie makes a really like weird horror adjacent turn in some of its choices artistically.
Interesting.
Like the ghost of Anne Boleyn is in it. And there's a scene where Kristen Stewart is like fondling some pearls that were given to her by Prince Charles that he also gave to Camilla. So she rips them off, puts them in her soup and eats them. I mean, and all these are like these weird, like mental things that's happening in her own brain as she's slowly going crazy over
I was
this
gonna
weekend.
say Anne Boleyn had a little bit more to fucking deal with.
So,
like,
yeah, I mean, she was headless, right?
The queen has no power to put someone to death these days.
But it was a really, really good movie. And I think that Kristen Stewart's performance is probably one of the best things that I've seen all year long.
Awesome.
I feel like she deserves the Oscar when she wins it.
Okay.
And I mean, I wasn't expecting to like this movie as much as I did, but currently it's my favorite movie of 2021.
Wow.
Yeah. 5 stars. Totally.
Really over all the horror movies too.
Yes. I mean, more often than not, my favorite movie of most years is not a horror movie. You know what I mean? It just happens. But like Spencer is excellent.
Well, you shall be stoned.
I shall be stoned. Maybe later.
Well, the only other thing I really wanted to talk about, because everything else was kind of a rewatch, kind of like my sister's here to visit, and so I was showing her a bunch of things that she hadn't seen yet, like Dread, Sunshine, The Empty Man, Relic. Mm-hmm. I really wanted her to see some of those, and she, of course, enjoyed all of them. But we started a show that's been on my list for quite a while, and that's called The Terror.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And this is an AMC show. It's kind of an anthology, really. So, like, the first show is all about the terror, which is a full, like, 10 episodes or something. And then the second season, I think, is about Japanese internment camps and, and the hauntings there. Even has George Takei in there. But, yeah, so this is about the ships, the Terror and the Erebus. going to find the Northwest Passage, or trying to, right? The fabled Northwest Passage, and how horrible that journey goes and what happens on it. And because basically every single person dies, right? Yeah. And they can infer what happened from like little gravestones kind of earlier in the, and cairns and stuff from earlier in their adventure. And they literally get stuck in packed ice over 2 whole winters because it didn't ever thaw for that summer.
Jesus.
And they're stuck on those ships packed in the ice, just, walking on the ice and trying to find different directions of where things could go and trying to have food. And meanwhile, they've had this new innovation of canned food, right? But of course, this is early canned food. And so the way they had sealed those cans is with lead. And so they're suffering from scurvy and lead poisoning, and they're also suffering from, being hunted by a demonic bear. So there's all these things that we can infer from like diaries and from the buried bodies and some of the things that the Eskimos had said and reported on when people came back to like investigate what had happened. And even Charles Dickens was involved with their rescue, and like it's a whole story. It's just brilliant, and all of it's fucking true, except for it's trying to tell the story from the perspective of these people and what they believed at the time, and also the Eskimo and everything else. And so from their perspective, having gone crazy and things like that, is this bear actually a polar bear, or is it something more? Is it something demonic or supernatural that is hunting them? And you never really truly given the answer to that, but you're kind of see through their eyes how terrifying that is, and how terrifying it is to try and survive in the ice for that long back then. And it's just super fascinating. It's super well acted, but it's really, really well done. And I cannot recommend it enough. I thought The Terror was amazing.
It's been on my list for a long time. I have another friend who really enjoyed that season. And much like the original Exorcist TV show, right? I recorded all of it onto a DVR and just never watched it. You know what I mean? But I really do want to watch The Terror because I wanted to watch it when it was on TV. So yeah, it just slipped through the cracks.
It's gotten really, really good reviews. The second season is also well reviewed, but not quite as highly. So I don't know. I might just give the second one a chance, even though I know they never continued the series.
No.
Because technically it's called The Terror, and then they called the second season The Terror Infamy, even though it's at an internment camp somewhere else in time, obviously, like 100 years later.
So it's anthology.
Yeah, it's anthology, but I guess it didn't have legs after that because they should have just named it or had a different thing. It was like American Horror Story is a little more generalized, you know, or they can kind of put the subtitle in there, but The Terror was The Terror, you know? So it's like, why they call their ships The Terror in Erebus, we'll never,
it seems
I'll never know.
It seems like not good names for a ship.
It's like, what are the names?
why don't you just call it Harbinger?
Might as well call it Lost in Ice Forever. No. What was the second ship's name? Everyone's Gonna Die.
Choose your ship, either The Terror or Scurvy. I do want to mention one more movie. It's not a horror movie, but we recently talked about the movie Annihilation on a deep dive episode, and we were talking about Tessa Thompson, and I mentioned that I wanted to watch something called Passing that she was in. This is a Netflix film where she was getting some Oscar buzz, and it is very, very good. I rated this 5 stars. It's a hard watch. But it's an incredible movie, full of it's a really good acting showcase for both her and Ruth Negga. Ruth Negga playing a woman who sort of is passing as white. She's an African-American, married to a white man, and lives a life as a white woman, right? And this movie was directed by Rebecca Hall, someone who we just talked about her performance from The Night House. And it was just a really, really good film and a really good way to sit down and watch these two actresses just like act the shit out of everything.
Is that her directorial debut?
I don't know. I don't know if she did anything else, but she certainly just really made a fantastic movie.
I had no idea.
It's shot in black and white for obvious artistic reasons and story reasons, but it's really pretty to look at. The acting is phenomenal. The story is phenomenal. It's based on a novel that I've never heard of, but quite frankly,
I don't remember the trailer in black and white.
It's a black and white movie, but
interesting.
It's a really, really good film. I cannot. Between that and Spencer, like Passing is probably my number 2 favorite movie of last year. Both 5 stars, both easily accessible now. Go and watch them. We watch and talk about a lot of horror movies, but sometimes some of these movies that are not horror related are just excellent. So do it. Do yourself a favor. Well, I think that just about wraps up our Shooting the Flames for February. As always, guys, we're looking forward to your questions and comments. You can leave all of those over on social media at The Film Flamers on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram.
You can email us at tiredqueens@filmflamers.com, or you can call our hotline at 972-666-7733. Deck my Rebecca Hall. Wait.
I was going to do some sort of like fucking Kathleen Turner joke, but I think I'm out of Kathleen Turner jokes.
Please no one walk up to Rebecca Hall and punch her in the face.
No, do not decorate her with anything. Leave her alone. We have a lot of content for you in February. We like to talk about romantic movies, so obviously we're talking about Hellraiser.
That's right. And Hellraiser 2.
That's right. So stay tuned for that. And we will probably be talking about something Hellraiser related over on Patreon. So head over to patreon.com/thefilmflamers and join our family and look forward to that bonus episode. All right, Chris, let's meander off into the night. Raise some hell.
Let's have some sweet dreams.
I don't know. I feel like I need to write Kathleen Turner a letter of apology for everything that we said about her tonight. No, not really.
And Rebecca Hall.
And Rebecca Hall mostly.
Mostly.